It is official, ladies and gentlemen. Zach Lavine has re-signed with the Chicago Bulls to a 5-year max extension to the tune of $212 million, which, to be honest, this isn't shocking news, although I was a little surprised that it took so long. But based on the reports that have been coming out over the past week or so, it was becoming more and more clear that Zach Lavine was going to be re-signing with the Bulls. The Bulls front office were very adamant in their press conferences that they were going to do everything they could to retain Zach, and they did that. And of course, since we knew the Bulls could offer him the most money, $55 million in guaranteed money to be exact, and also the fact that Chicago offers him one of the biggest markets in the NBA to increase his brand and marketability. So yes, none of this really should come as a surprise. Now, what I will say, and if you guys have been following the channel for a while now, you already know this, I've had my reservations about Lavine. I've been critical of his play in the past, and I've said before, I don't know if you can really consider him to be a number one option on a title team. And it's a lot of money you're paying for a star player, but a star player who does still have his flaws. I went back and forth towards the end of the season on whether the Bulls should in fact offer Zach Lavine a max contract, but look, the fact of the matter is, based on what Zach Lavine brings as a player, an all-star in his prime, an elite level scorer, great shooter, strong finisher at the rim. He's shown to be a pretty effective playmaker as well. Like, it's not every day you're going to easily be able to find a guy who can put up 25, 5 and 5 on 50% shooting and shoot threes at a 40% clip. Like, as much criticism as we give Zach sometimes, myself included, for his lack of defense and general decision making in late game situations, he's still one of the best players in the league. And his market value dictates a max contract in the NBA. That's just how the economics work in the league. You pay to keep your star players. You pay for the value of an all-star player. You don't want to risk losing your star players for nothing in free agency. And the way the NBA salary cap works is you're allowed to operate over the cap with the salaries for the players for which you own their bird rights. So by extending a max offer sheet to Lavine, the Bulls don't take as big of a hit to their hard cap since they own Lavine's bird rights. And look, the fact of the matter is the Bulls still need to round out their roster. And the hope is the Bulls aren't done, even though they just signed Andre Drummond and that was it. Looks like Danilo Gallinari is actually going to be on his way to the Boston Celtics. This is really just the first move, hopefully, of many that we can expect for the rest of the offseason between other free agent signings, potentially, and hopefully trades, which who knows could be breaking at any moment now. But this was a necessary move. You had to retain Zach Lavine, whether you think he's worth a max contract or not. The fact of the matter is you can't lose your star shooting guard in the peak of his prime for nothing. Because it's not like you would just have all of that freed up cap space to work in bringing in other free agents. Because again, the Bulls are able to operate over the cap by signing Lavine, whereas they are not able to sign free agents outright to go over the salary cap. So by not re-signing Lavine, they not only lose Lavine, but they also set themselves back in terms of their ability to round out the roster. And let's be honest, if you let Zach walk, you're taking a step back as a franchise because it's not like DeMar, Vucevic are the long-term future of this franchise. And even in the short term, without Zach, the Bulls are a fringe playoff team, plain and simple. Now, of course, I'm sure some will say, well, you could have always executed a sign and trade, which would have allowed the Bulls to keep their cap positioning since it would be done via a sign and trade. But what options did the Bulls really have to actually upgrade over Zach? Generally speaking, in a sign and trade, the team trading their free agent gets a shorter end of the stick because of the little amount of leverage that they have in making that kind of exchange. Because why would a team trade anything for a player they could otherwise just sign outright as a free agent? The sign and trades for Lonzo Ball and DeMar DeRozan are case in point of that in the little amount the Bulls had to give up to get these guys last offseason. So it's not like executing a sign and trade for Zach Lavine would have netted you an equal value or better for the Bulls. So signing Zach to a max had to be done if the Bulls want any chance of remaining competitive and keeping that continuity, the core that the front office has emphasized so much since the season ended. Could the Bulls have offered Zach a little less money than the max, but still more than other teams would have been able to offer him? Which is actually what I wanted the Bulls to do. But at the end of the day, that isn't good business. You don't want to tarnish the relationship you have with one of your star players over a few $1 million. And it's not like it really would have mattered given the Bulls would be operating over the cap anyway. So this is it. The Bulls are committed to Zach long term. He'll be 32 by the end of this contract. We know what Zach can do, and hopefully he continues to get better and better. Hopefully there are no issues with the ailing knee that he had surgery on. But we won't go into that because if the medical staff and front office aren't concerned, then neither really should we. They're obviously going to know more about the long-term impacts than we will And this really sets the stage for the Bulls and their long-term future, building this franchise around Zach Lavine. Hopefully getting another star player to complement him sometime in the future. Who knows, maybe even this offseason, although I find that unlikely with the cap space that the Bulls have available to them when the Bulls only have the mid-level exception, not even that really, that has left at this point. But maybe in a trade, who knows. Also, I just wanted to say to all the Spurs fans who were coming at me in the channel and on Twitter a few weeks back, who were insisting that Zach Lavine to the Spurs was a big possibility because, you know, Lavine wants to play with his buddy DeJounte Murray with a source of, trust me, bro. Yeah, how's that working out for you? All of the rumors around Zach being interested in the Lakers, thanks LeVar Ball, nope. The Blazers for Zach to join Damian Lillard, nada. I mean, come on now. For anyone who had a grasp on NBA economics, you knew the Bulls were the front runners and the most likely destination for Lavine. I don't know why so many people thought he was leaving, but anyway, I know this is a shorter video, but wanted to share my thoughts on the breaking news, but expected news that Zach Lavine is re-signing with the Bulls. I'll keep you guys posted as any other news comes out today or tomorrow. Very possible you have news breaking potentially while I'm uploading this video, so stay tuned and make sure you're subscribed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.